Welcome to this week's episode of Cooking with Your Librarian. I promised healthy last week, so here goes. Come on into my kitchen. I love hummus. It's delicious, it's super healthy, and you may not know, but it is super easy to make. So we're going to make some of that today. I make my hummus in my food processor. It works fabulously. First, I'll start by blending the lemon juice. Fresh squeezed lemon juice is essential, and tahini paste. I'm going to do that for about a minute until it gets creamy. See, that looks kind of nice and creamy. And then I'm going to add in the garlic. I use 4 cloves of garlic. It will depend on how garlicky you want your hummus to be. Another great trick is to roast your garlic. If you want to roast your head of garlic, you're just going to cut off the top so that the edges are kind of showing there. And then you're going to pour some olive oil on top of that. And you're just going to seal this up, put it in the oven, 350 for about, half hour, 45 minutes. And if you're going to use roasted garlic, you can use a lot more because the flavor gets more mild when you roast it. And it is delicious. Just pulled the garlic out of the oven. Took about 45 minutes. See how it's kind of caramelized? Oh, smells like heaven. At this point, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin. And half a teaspoon of salt. I like to be careful with salt. You can always add more. You can't take it away. And then about a 1/4 cup of oil. And I'm not even going to put all that in yet. Stir that up. And I may add a little bit more oil in a bit. Now I'm going to add the chickpeas. I used canned chickpeas this time, 2 cans, which makes about 3 cups of chickpeas. You're going to drain that water out of the chickpeas. So if you look, it's blending up, but it's really very thick. So at this point, I'm going to add the rest of the oil, and then I'm going to add some water because it's just not going to be thin enough. The other thing you can do that I've done sometimes is save some of the water from the can, if you're using canned chickpeas, and use that as your extra liquid. Some people take off the skins from the chickpeas to make it super creamy. I'm not going to do that because that's too much work. But if you really want to, you can take off the skins. That'll make it a little creamier. I'm going to add a little more water and give it another whiz on the Cuisinart. My other secret ingredient is some kind of onion that I will fold in. I won't put it through the food processor. I'll slice it ahead and fold them in. These lovely chives are growing like weeds in my yard, so I just grabbed some of those, but green onions work really well also. And I think the recipe really needs the onions. And I just sliced up a few of those to add in. So I folded in the chives, and at this point I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it sit for a few hours because the flavors do meld, and it's actually better the next day. But anyway, you can keep this for a week or so, but probably won't last that long. And I like to finish it off with a little olive oil on top and a little shake of paprika. And then cut up any vegetables that people like, and pita bread and some olives. And you have a delicious and super healthy snack. I want to tell you about another favorite snack of mine, and that is chia pudding. The first time I had chia pudding, it was served to me as dessert. And I took 1 spoonful and looked at my server and said, "This is not dessert. Banana cream pie is dessert, or a turtle sundae, or a cannoli. This is not very sweet." But turns out I've had it many times since then, and you really acquire a taste for it. If you want it sweeter, you can add some honey or maple syrup. Add all kinds of fruits. I'll show you different things you can add in, but give it a whirl and give yourself some time to get used to it. It's really a wonderful snack idea. My base recipe for the chia pudding is a 1/4 cup of chia seeds. You can use the black, white, they all taste the same pretty much. A cup of any kind of milk. I use almond milk. You can use coconut milk, you can use dairy milk, you can use cashew milk, any kind of milk you'd like. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of peanut butter, or I like almond butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla. That's going to be my base recipe. Oh, and a little shake of salt. Let me throw that in now before I forget. I'll just drop that nut butter in. You can also add any kind of spice you want, such as cinnamon, nutmeg, 5 spice. Do some almond extract. Have some chai here. And I'm going to make one of them with chocolate. Put a couple tablespoons of cocoa in. That one I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of maple syrup, because I've had it before with the chocolate without sweetener and I don't love it. It needs a little sweetener, but you can decide if you need that or not. Now I have my super duper little teeny tiny whisk, and I'm gonna put it in there and just kind of break this all up. And then we're going to put this in the fridge overnight. And then in the morning, we will have chia pudding. It'll probably be ready later tonight, but I really like to save this. It's a really healthy breakfast, so that's what I'm going to save mine for. So I had to stir this for, a good several minutes to get it incorporated. And now you can see it's already starting to gel. And those little chias are popping open and letting out their stuff. This is the one I haven't stirred yet. All 3 of these actually. So I'm going to take my time and get those all stirred up so that they look like this when they're done. And then I will add any other spices I want to add. And then when it's ready to consume, I will add other things such as nuts, fruit, fresh fruit, chocolate, chunks of coconut, anything you want to put on. And now it's time for the taste test.
Delicious chocolate chia pudding. Let's taste and see. Delicious. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for another exciting episode. This week we were doing some healthy cooking. Let me know what you'd like me to make for next week. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, but it's probably going to be baking something and maybe not so healthy. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye.